My words die in my throat as I finally see the source of the noise. There on the bed lies Jamie on her back, her legs spread wide as another woman forcefully thrusts against her again and again. Jamie's pale skin and blonde hair a stark contrast against the other woman's chocolate-toned flesh and wavy ebony locks. Their grunts and moans continue as I feel my heart collapsing in on itself. My bag slips from my hand and falls to the floor, the loud din of its landing finally alerting them to my presence. "Shit!" Jamie exclaims, halting all movement from the woman inside her. The unknown factor in our relationship looks back over her shoulder at me and then quickly back at Jamie. "Who is that?" The look on her face paired with the tone of her voice are enough to tell me that she didn't know that I existed either. Resignation takes over Jamie's features as she closes her eyes and allows her head to fall back onto the bed. I've seen enough at this point. I don't need to hear any lame excuses. Nothing is going to erase what I've seen or undo the damage to my heart. Unbelievable, I mutter as I bend over to pick up my bag, refusing to cry in front of them. I see the stranger climb off of Jamie and hear her begin to unleash her verbal fury as I descend the stairs and exit the condo. I get in my car and rest my head on the steering wheel, the tears finally forcing themselves free as I mentally berate myself for being so naive, for not seeing this coming. The sound of the front door slamming causes me to lift my head, where my eyes lock with the woman who had been fucking Jamie minutes ago. Her eyes are red and swollen, full of anger and unflinching. We stare at one another momentarily before she turns away from me and makes her way to a car parked along the street. Not wanting to see Jamie or hear any bullshit explanation she has to offer, I start my car and quickly back out of the driveway. Once home, I fix myself a Jack and Coke and climb into a scalding hot shower. I can't explain why I feel dirty. I just do. Thoroughly scrubbed, I fix a second drink and curl up in my favorite armchair. I don't bother switching on the TV or even grabbing a book. I sit there and stare off into space, half feeling sorry for myself and half still chewing myself out for being blindsided by Jamie's infidelity. Nim abandons her post in the sun and curls up on my lap, so I absent-mindedly run my fingers over her silky fur. I can feel her purring, a soft rumbling against my thighs and the kneading of her toes. At least one of us is happy. We sit like this as I finish my drink, restlessness starting to kick in. A disgruntled Nim mews in protest as when I deposit her on the floor as I rise to fix another drink, arrange for a ride, and change. I no longer feel like being at home where the walls feel like they are starting to close in on me. I wander aimlessly around the city as my buzz steadily dissipates. Wanting a quiet place to think, I sit on the riverbank, watching the ducks swim and the crew team practicing, as I fight to shut out the echoes of my mother's voice reminding me that no one will ever love me, that I'm destined to lead a lonely existence, that all gay people do. Starting to feel far too sober, I decide I'm ready for another drink. I check my phone and discover that Velvet is now open, so I slowly head in that direction, the early April sunshine no longer energizing me the way that it did this morning. I park myself on a stool at the bar and look around. The place is empty as far as I can tell, which suits my mood perfectly. "Where are the rest of the girls?" Sandra asks as she slides a napkin in front of me. "Working, I think. May I have a Jack and Coke, please?" I feel like I'm being rude to Sandra. I hope that I'm not coming off that way. Sandra isn't known for tolerating rudeness or what she views as bullshit in her bar. "Sure." She turns and quickly makes my drink, depositing it on the napkin when it's finished. "You all right, Doc? Don't see you in here alone very often, and I don't think I've ever seen you when you weren't smiling." I sigh, not wanting to be a downer. "Rough morning," I inform her, unsure if she will drop it. Sandra eyes me for a second before nodding. "I've got to check on my other customer. I'll be right back." I shoot her the faintest of smiles and nod as I continue to work on my drink. A few minutes later, Sandra returns and places a fresh cocktail in front of me. "Want to talk about it yet?" she asks, her head slightly angled to one side. "Not much to talk about, really. Had to cancel a case at work this morning, so I left to go visit the woman I was dating and caught her in bed with someone else." Well, now that I've said it out loud...